Place your bets, you jackwagons. Brad the Big Noise Evans here on a solo edition of the Feed 5 podcast, and it's the last one of 2024. So let the ball drop, pop a cork, and let's party. And hopefully going to be cashing in some winners on Monday Night Football. Without further ado, let's get after with the honk plus bus. We're cruising down the highway. Plus winner odds are greater is the requirement. And one bet that immediately caught my eye because the juice is so damn attractive right now at DraftKings. George Kittle for all the Skittles. Let's taste the rainbow there. Anytime touchdown at plus 130. By comparison, at BetMGM, this wager, it is a minus 115. So I'll roll the shoulders. It gets seduced by the juice with Kittle. He has outscored a touchdown in 4 straight games. I fully realize that, but he has scored a TD in 7 of 13 matchups this season. He is numero dos in total red zone targets among all tight ends on the season. And yes, I realize Detroit has only given up 3 tight end touchdowns the entire year. But that team has really come unraveled on the back end defensively due to myriad injuries. Number 26 and pass EPA defense of the last 5 weeks. So put all together, George Kittle with that long flowing hair spikes one home anytime touchdown at plus 130 there at DraftKings Sportsbook. With that bet on the board, let's get after it with another Monday edition of the Fade 5. All right, numero 5 here on the countdown. Let's go with the college hardwood. And yes, I'm going to have nothing but football bets remaining, so hold your horses. We're going to get there. But a couple of decent games that are out there in that sport. And I have been making all kinds of money. Hopefully you're following the always free, always transparent spreadsheet at thegamingjuice.com. It's been a profitable start to the season, to say the less, and I'm hoping that is going to continue. Great horny toes with TCU plus 15 on the road against the Arizona Wildcats, available there at DraftKings, also available as well at BetMGM at that minus 110 juice. Look at the Horned Frogs, a team that's probably going to be more NIT bound. They're really not NCAA tournament material. But they're only number 219 in EFG offense. They're shooting just 49.5% inside the arc and only 32.9% outside of it. That's discouraging, but a very sound defensive team. Number 47 in the nation in EFGD, giving up 49.6 from 2 and only 28% from distance. They're excellent on the glass to go along with that defense. Now, who's going to be critical factors? The downside is they missed so many damn free throws, only shooting 64% as a collective this season. But you look at Arizona, a team that's already a handful of losses on the year. They have been a monumental disappointment. Yeah, they play at a brisker pace. Yes, they're more sound, fundamentally so, on the offensive side. Number 87 in the country in EFG offense. And defensively, they haven't been slouches at number 34 in EFGD. Their strength, they got big bodies. In the post, one of the best rebounding teams in terms of generating second chance opportunities, sealing off the glass as well. But if Uday, if Punch, if those guys can hold their own in the post, in the paint for TCU, and trying to mitigate some of those second chance opportunities, given the downsides of 3-point offensively for Arizona and the 3-point percentage defense, I think ultimately 15 points is way too many. So again, give me those Horned Frogs plus the 15 on the road in Tucson at a minus 110 juice there at DraftKings Sportsbook. Moving on, numero 4 here on the Feed 5 Monday edition of the Countdown. Ain't he so purty? Mwah! I'm a little smooch. I'm Brock Purdy on the rush yards prop at 18.5. I'm going to take that over at a minus 110 juice there at BetMGM. He is an opportunistic scrambler, to say the least, and he's been somewhat sensational in this category for much of the year. He's averaging 4.5 rush attempts per game. He's been over this prop 50% of his games played, so 7 of 14 times this season, averaging north of this mark at 22.2. So all I got to do is hit your standard line, bro, and we're counting our winnings. I look at Detroit. very aggressive front line of a defense. And number 4, in pocket pressure rate at 25.9%. 10 quarterbacks have rushed for at least 19 against them. They're giving up 28.3 rush yards per game. So when he feels the heat, he's going to read, he's going to recognize, he's going to talk, and he's going to run, hopefully, to at least 19 rush yards. And I am, fingers and toes crossed, praying that kneel downs will not come into play at the end of the game in this one, because the San Francisco very much a live dog. So again, numero cuatro here on the Feed 5 countdown. Brock Purdy, apply the layer lipstick. I like the over 18.5 rush yards at a -110 juice at BetMGM. Numero 3 on the Feed 5 countdown. Raw, 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 raw. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Oh, the sun god. I'm fading him. Yes, I am. Give me the under on 21.5 yards on the longest catch at a -105. A little bit lighter juice there at BetMGM. This number's just too high because you look at San Francisco. They have allowed the fewest pass plays of 20 or more yards entering the week. And on top of that, too, they are top 3 in fewest air yards allowed among NFL teams this season. Yeah, they're middling, number 18, and pass EPAD over the last 5, but Lenore is going to be the primary assignment. And when Amon-Ra lines up in the slot, and that's where he sees a majority of his action. Lenore this season, he's given up a 64.3% catch rate, but only 9.3 yards per catch and a 70.6 passer rating as well. He has been premium in coverage this season. So you put together as well, Amon-Ra's been over this prop 10 times this season, but 9 of those 10 times came against 3 teams, the Bears, the Bills, and the Jacksonville Jaguars. A lot of question marks with those secondaries, not so much with San Francisco. On top of that, you look at Amon-Ra, number 24 among all wide receivers in total air yards. Number 88 in average depth of target, 81 in yards per reception at 11.1, and 32 in yards per target. So the numbers nerd in me says this is a phenomenal value. So Amon-Ra, catch a few passes, but do it in the short to intermediate field. No explosives. Por favor, and as long as he doesn't detonate and hits that under 21.5 yards on the longest catch at a -105. Again, we're going to be counting our winnings there at BetMGM. Hey, you want more plays? We got them at thegamingjuice.com. Go there, you jackals. It's absolutely free. Again, I don't charge you a single penny. You want some action at the college football playoffs? Well, Ben Wittenstein and Nate Jacobson certainly have you covered in that sport. I'm going to be rolling out some more college basketball content now the fantasy regular season of the playoffs are complete. I'm going to ramp that back up. I'll probably with an article on my ILL a little bit later on in the week, as they're on the road early, and a really important Big Ten affair in Eugene, taking on the Oregon Ducks on Thursday. Going to be also cranking out some top props pieces for the NFL wild card round upcoming. And also, we got one more week. I know it's going to be wild. It's going to be crazy in week 18. But of course, I'm going to be firing off a few wages as well. And I'll have them in written form again at thegamingjuice.com. We get NHL content on the site. We're probably going to, be sprinkling in a little NBA here and there as well. Get it all. It's absolutely free. Again, you don't pay a penny. Go to thegamingjuice.com. Click, converse, and cash. ... Maybe. Numero dos here, the Monday Night Football edition of the Fade 5 Countdown. Isaac Guerendo, give me the over on 11.5 receiving yards. Oh, were you thinking about that one? At a -115 there at BetMGM. I think this number is too low. Guerendo is likely going to be the main man. Patrick Taylor knew Jack Norris squat in a couple of games. Guerendo banged up. But you look recently, Guerendo was a guy that's ran 30 routes in his last 3 games, played combined. In the last game, we saw him in week 15 against LA Rams. He ran around on 52.9% of the team snaps. Of course, gameplay and flow is going to play a factor, but I expect this game to be nip and tuck and potential pew, pew, pew shootout as well. He's cruised past this in his back-to-back contest. 4 targets, 4 receptions, 18 yards a couple of weeks ago, 2 for 2 and 50 as well over those last couple of games. Look at Detroit. Again, number 26 in pass EPAD over the last 5 weeks. 13 RBs have gone over 11.5 receiving yards against them this season, as they're giving up 3.3 receptions per game in the running back position, 32.7 yards per game through the air as well. Now it's only the 21st most yards in total surrender 2 RBs, but Guerendo, and there's a possibility it could be a negative game script, and if it certainly flows that way, that only increases the likelihood of this over cashing on 11.5 receiving yards at a minus 115 at BetMGM. And numero uno on the Monday edition of the Feed 5 Countdown. Again, let's go back to Ain't He So Party. I just can't resist you, Brock. I think the Brock Nest Monster is going to do some damage in this one through the air. Give me the over 1.5 passing touchdowns at a minus 115 juice there at BetMGM. You look at Brock. Now, he's only done this 5 times on the entire season, but he is number 9 in red zone completion percentage. He is number 9 as well in deep ball completion percentage this season. Still got plenty of suitable weapons to distribute the rock to, whether it's Deebo Samuel in a multi-dimensional amount of ways. Could be as well George Kittle across the middle of the field. Jawan Jennings, who has been a breakout candidate here over the second half of the season. Maybe a little check down to my guy, Isaac Guerendo as well. I should, emphasize he should be able to get this done, quite frankly, because Detroit, number 26 in pass EPAD over the last 5 weeks, they've given up a multi-time passer in 3 of the last 4 games. And over their last 5 contests specifically, they are yielding 8.3 pass yards per attempt, 266.0 pass yards per game, and an 8-0 touchdown to interception split. They're not grounded in inning passing attack. I think Brock Purdy, whether with the legs, as I mentioned earlier on in the pod, or through the air, is going to post some crooked numbers on the scoreboard. So give me the over, my top play Monday Night Football on that 1.5 passing touchdowns line and a minus 115 juice there at BetMGM. But wait, there's more. It's bonus time. What other action am I digging on, whether in the NFL? And I might fire off a bonus time college basketball bet as well. First and foremost, let's go to the Team Huevos Parlay play of the day. SGP style, as I normally do on Mondays. And these are all receptions. So we're going to creep up with every single leg. Leg numero uno, Isaac Guerendo, 2 or more catches. Leg numero dos, Jamison Williams, take a shot, 3 or more receptions. And leg numero tres, it is indeed George Kittles and Bits. Once again, your dog will love him, and I do too. And that brings us to a plus 120 juice there at Caesars Sportsbook. I think all these thresholds entirely doable. Look at Guerendo. Again, he has done this on the last 2 games he's in action. And as I mentioned a couple of weeks ago against the Rammies, a 52.9% route run rate. So it's a guy that feels comfortable spreading out the short field. Purdy may look left, right. Oh, check down. He's wide ass open. There's a catch. All we got to do is have that happen a couple of times, and that should be able to hit. This season, 15 running backs have caught at least 2 balls against the Lions here in 2024. Leg numero dos, JMO for 3 or more receptions against San Francisco, a middling number 18 in pass EPAD over the last 5 weeks. And they have allowed the fewest, believe it or not, wide receiver receptions on the season, 154 in total, but 28 dudes at the position have hauled in at least 3 passes against them. It's going to see a lot of green in coverage, who's given up a 65.5% catch rate. And you look at JMO, he has gone over this in his last 7 straight games, over 25 in route win percentage on the year. And that target share is creeping up. He's only averaging 5.8 looks per game, but consistently here last handful of weeks, he's getting between 6 and 8 targets per game. I think it's going to be more of the same. And then meanwhile, leg numero trace, George Kittle, 4 or more receptions. A battle of Iowa tight ends in this one against Sam Laporta. And I think he's going to show up and show out as a result. Detroit has given up the fewest tight end catches on the year at 3.7 per game. Only 5 tight ends have caught 4 balls against them. But Kittle is likely going to be one of the apples of one Brock Purdy's eyes. Averaging 6.4 targets per game. He's caught at least 4 passes in 11 of 13 contests this season. He's averaging 24.5 routes per game, and he has a 137.3 quarterback passer rating when targeted. That's the 3rd highest among all qualifying tight ends. So to recap, the team Huevos Parlay Play SGP style. Isaac Guerendo, 2 or more catches. Jameson Williams, 3 or more catches. George Kittle, 4 or more catches, plus 120 there at Caesars Sportsbook. But wait, I have even more. Bonus time. Let's get another wager here on the board. If you would just want to play a standard line and a total in this one, I think San Francisco is going to be competitive because Detroit has so many issues, and they've been wolf on the back end defensively, and Brock Purdy could have a splendid night as a result. So a little simple SGP 2-legger to get you an even Steven plus 100 juice. I built this at BetMGM. San Francisco plus 7.5. I'm going to take the total down and hit the over on 43.5. So again, San Francisco, those goal panners, plus 7.5 in the alt line, and they all total 43.5 and hit the over. And again, you get that at plus 100. The other bet that I liked, available at DraftKings, I have a lot of like player head-to-heads and spreads attached to the yardage. I think Juwan Jennings plus 7.5 is very much a card worth playing against Amon-Ra St. Brown. Amon-Ra, again, Lenore is outstanding in coverage. He may catch 6-7 balls in this one, but it could be of the snack-sized variety. Juwan Jennings, the guy that can really get after it, especially after the catch. He's a tough-to-wrangle dude with that long and sinewy frame. And he's going to see a lot of Terry Arnold in coverage, and that is a muy caliente matchup, to say the least. Arnold this season's given up 100.2 passer rating, 13th most yards as well of any DB that's out there. So Juwan Jennings plus 7.5 yards versus Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's minus 115 there at DraftKings Sportsbook. And I promise more college basketball on the late night tip. If shit ain't going right for you and Monday Night Football, and you're like, I got to start chasing other sports, I like the Dons. I'm going to lay the 4.5 at home, taking on Santa Clara and a battle for the Bay at the mid-major level. And this one being played in San Francisco. So a home game there. You look at the Dons, number 61 EFG offense, 31 EFG defense. One of the more balanced than majors that is out there. Santa Clara, number 88 EFG offense, 138 EFG defense. I really think the key in this game is twofold. One, turnovers. Major issue this season for Santa Clara, just shooting themselves in the foot repeatedly. And they're also number 174 in 3-point percentage D this year. The Dons are shooting 36.1% from way downtown. So bang, and bang again. I think those 3 balls fall through the cylinder. Relative consistency, that happens. San Francisco should be able to cover the 4.5 at home, although this sucker may be a sweat, and more than likely it's going to come down to free throws. Not the greatest strength of San Francisco, only shooting 68.5% for the charity stripe, but gut feeling says the Dons do cover the 4.5 there at home. on the late night tip. All right, I'm out of breath and out of time here on the Feed 5 Monday edition of the podcast. Do me a favor, would you kindly drop us a rating and or review? Also, feel to follow us on the X or the Twitter. Follow Lundy at Nate Lundy. Lundy is still across the pond doing his European vacation, probably wreaking all kinds of havoc, breaking all kinds of laws. I think he's in Italia right now in Rome, doing what the Romans do, maybe playing gladiator. I'm matching him with his shirt off. It's an ugly and hideous sight in my own demented mind. Hopefully he's going to be back on the pod later on. We're going to be scaling these back, just FYI, with the NFL regular season about to come to an end. We have no more Thursday night or Sunday. Well, we might have a Monday night football game, Sunday night football game or two, but I will have another episode for you ahead of the Week 18 slate later this week. So we got Monday. We'll have another one on Friday as well, and then we'll start mixing it up in terms of when we're going to, be recording and airing these. It's going to be largely around the college basketball slates and whether or not they even deserve any kind of mention overall here if I can get 5 solid games. So, it might be an episode or 2 a week here moving forward until we ramp up into March Madness. But again, go to thegamingjuice.com, you jackwagon, sign up for a free account right now and enjoy the action on Monday night. Have a great and safe New Year's. And until next time, as always, feed or follow. That is up to you. Don't let me down, Niners.